Alguém principal são equipamentos, não se põe no chão. Pequeno. Ou é que vai lá e não, mas hello, có hết cái này. Nó lúc mà ngồi thì nằm thì cái đấy. Và විසිහතරට තියෙන්නේ എന്താ ലിമിറ്റ് കാണിക്കുന്നത്
Good morning. Hi, good morning. Morning. Okay, then we'll start the session. So we started with the second lesson, demand, supply, and market equilibrium. So if you consider demand and supply, we can do this demand and supply analysis in two ways. One is a qualitative analysis, and the other one is quantitative analysis. So main difference between these two analyses are qualitative analysis is mainly focusing on giving the prediction, giving the recommendations, or providing recommendations related to demand and supply estimate, right? Estimation of different demand and supply concerns, whether if we consider one particular product, if you are trying to make a decision, right? If a company is trying to make a decision as a decision maker based on demand and supply predictions. So in a future time period, whether it is going to increase the demand or decrease the demand, or else what type of changes are going to be happen. Not quantitatively, qualitatively we can assume the direction, whether demand is going to be increased or decreased. So we have discussed example last week about this qualitative analysis. Mainly we are using graph and the understanding you have regarding to demand and supply determinants will be highly used in this qualitative analysis. So by qualitative analysis, we don't have what percentage the demand is going to be increased, but what we know is demand is going to be increased, but we don't know the percentage. So let's say several demand determinants is going to be changed. We know it is going to be increase or decrease. We know the direction, but we don't know what percentage, how much it is going to be changed. So it is somewhat different between qualitative and quantitative analysis. In qualitative analysis, we know the exact direction, or else we have to find the exact direction by looking at the given information. By looking at the available information, you have to think what the direction is. So if you can remember our example, it is about airfares, right? Airfare prices. You have done a prediction whether in next year what is going to be happen to the supply side determinants and demand side determinants. Then you decided finally what will be the equilibrium price. What will be the price that will be decided in the market in next year. So these are type of prediction. But quantitative analysis, it is somewhat different from qualitative analysis. Why? Because not only the direction, but also the measurement or the numbers by what percentage it is going to be changed will be included there. Right? So this quantitative analysis we can mainly name as elasticity. What is elasticity means? Elasticity we can measure for any dependent variable. You already know what dependent variable is. Dependent variable is a variable that is changing as a result of changes to independent variable. So dependent variable, we can measure the elasticity of any dependent variable in response to change in independent variable. Right? So when finding the elasticity value, elasticity equals what? Dependent variable percentage divided by independent variable percentage. You can measure the elasticity, responsiveness. So in measuring this, right? In measuring this, you need to have three conditions. What are the conditions? There should be a dependent variable, independent variable. And also both variables should be measured. right? Otherwise, you can't measure the dependent and independent variable well to identify the elasticity. So then this elasticity we can apply to the demand and supply as well. If we apply the concept of elasticity for the demand, that we call elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand. If we apply it to the supply, we call it elasticity of supply. But when it comes to the demand, even though there are one dependent variable, there are many independent. What are those? That we call demand determinants. But we are not going to measure the elasticity in response to all those independent variables. We only take how many? We only take three factors. What are those three independent variables? Three demand determinants. One is price of the product. The other one price of related product. The other one consumer income. Right? Consumer income. This measurement of price, the variable, the percentage change of price in response to what is the quantity demand change in response to percentage of changes in the price of the product. Right? Price of the product. අපි කොහොමද අඳුනාගත්තේ what is when we define the elasticity? But we have written responsiveness of quantity demand as a result of changes to the price of the product measured quantitatively. We identify as PE, price elasticity of demand. This price elasticity of demand we can measure regarding to a one particular price, one price, or two prices, in between two prices. If we measure the in between two prices, we call this arc elasticity of demand. If we measure it for one particular price, that we call point elasticity of demand. Right? So last week we have done an activity and identified, if we consider the demand line, it has different elasticity values along different prices. And also identified the relationship between point elasticity and arc elasticity. What is that? If we measure the arc elasticity for two prices, the answer is equal to arc elasticity of demand is equal to between two prices is equal to the point elasticity of demand of the middle price. Middle price that they consider for measuring the arc elasticity. Arc elasticity හෙවොත් එහෙම එන උත්තරේ සමාන වෙනවා. Arc elasticity හොයන්න price දෙකේ මැද මිල. How to find the middle price? If this is 3, if this is 7, then you have to plus 3 into 7 and divide by which is 5. So then arc elasticity between 7 and 3 will be equal to the point elasticity of 5 rupees. Right? You understood that by doing a small activity. So then today we are going to discuss these two parts. Price of related goods and consumer income. So measuring the responsiveness of demand as a result of changes to price of related goods, we identify as what? Identify as CPED. What is CPED? Cross price elasticity of demand. Haras mila illum number. Responsiveness of demand as a result of changes to income, that we call IED, income elasticity of demand. So today we are going to measure the CPED and IED. But the importance of these two elasticities compared to the price elasticity is entirely commenting by using the figures of the price elasticity values, answers for price elasticity values. We can comment on the elasticity of each prices. Because of the same demand line, there are different elasticity levels in between different elasticity levels. That is solely this explaining about the elasticity, responsiveness, whether it is highly responsive. If it is highly responsive, we call, what is the word that we use in economics? If the quantity demand is highly responsive, perfectly responsive. If the quantity demand is perfectly responsive, we call it perfectly elastic. Highly responsive, we call it elastic. The value will be more than minus. Perfectly elastic now. infinity. Then elastic now, high responsive, value will be more than -1. Then see, 1, it is unitary responsive. That means when the price changes by a percentage, from the same percentage, quantity demand changes. That we call unitary, ekija namika. Then thereafter, if the elasticity value is between 0 and minus 0.1, sorry, 0 and 1, 0 and -1, in between that means below the -1, that we call inelastic. Inelastic, less responsive. The price is less responsive, quantity demand is less responsive for the price, right? That we call inelastic. Perfectly inelastic, the elasticity value is 0, not responsive. Quantity demand is not responsive to that price change, right? So that way we can identify mainly comment on the responsive, right? But other two elasticities, income elasticity and CPED, cost price elasticity of demand, is more focused on defining the product. Defining the product based on elasticity values. Defining the product based on elasticity values. We can comment about by measuring IED, income elasticity of demand, by measuring cost price elasticity of demand. You can identify, you can explain the nature of the product, whether it is a normal, whether it is a luxury product, whether it is an essential, whether it is an inferior, whether it is a substitute, whether it is a complementary. These are different natures of the product. By using these two elasticities, that we can comment on the nature of the product. But I repeat, price elasticity of demand we cannot use to explain the nature of the product much, that we are highly explain the responsiveness of the quantity demand in response to changes of the price, right? But anyway, by looking at the demand line, you should be able to identify overall what type of elasticity is one particular firm is having. For example, if we draw like this, a demand like this, right? Demand like this. If I ask what type of a demand exists for this particular product, how can you say? What type of a demand like this? Elastic one, inelastic one, perfectly elastic one. For that, you have to consider this distance. See, the price change distance is this much. Quantity change distance is this much. When the price changes, here the less percentage is what? We apply the same function, delta QD percentage divided by delta P percentage. Now think, delta P percentage is high. Let's assume a value 10. Right? But delta QT percentage is very low. See, this is the deviation from 0 to minimum 40. This is the deviation from 0 to maximum demand price. Right? So then it is higher. The numerator is higher, 10. But the above value, delta QT, is less. Let's assume 2. Then answer will be what? Answer will be a answer less than 1. Less than 1 means elastic or inelastic. Inelastic. So this type of demand curve we call inelastic demand. And these things are important for your business economics subject also, because you are considering you are drawing the graph for different market structures. For example, if I told you this type of a demand line exists for a firm operating in monopoly. If the firm is operating in a monopoly market structure, their demand line, the firm's demand line, the product, the demand line for the product that is supplied by the monopolist is elastic, inelastic. Inelastic. So if I draw it other way around like this, what is that? Then you can see the price percentage is less, quantity percentage is high. Price percentage is less, quantity percentage is high. Then apply delta QT percentage divided by delta P percentage. What is high? Delta P percentage is low, delta QT percentage is high. That means the value is more than minus 1. More than minus 1. More than minus 1. More than 1 minus 1 means it is highly responsive or responsive. What is that? If the value is more than 1, it is highly responsive. That means elastic. This type of one, it is elastic. Again, I link in this into the market structures. The firm operating in the monopolistic competition. Firm operating in the monopolistic competition is having elastic demand line. Is having elastic demand line because the reason is the monopolistic competition there are suppliers who are when we consider the characteristics of monopolistic competition. So how many suppliers are there? Can you revise your memory about the number of suppliers in the monopolistic competition? In the monopoly, only one. Then oligopoly, few. Monopolistic competition, many. Perfect competition, great. Right? You will learn it again in business economics. Just to revise. So then, in firm operating monopolistic competition, there are many number of firms. That means consumers have alternatives. Even though the price change, when the price change, consumers shift into other products, other alternative products, other suppliers. Therefore, their demand is elastic. So if you consider perfect competition, if you consider the perfect competition, firm operating in the perfect competition, there are great many number of suppliers in the market. They cannot change the price. They are becoming the price taker. They cannot decide the price. Whatever the price decided in the market, firm also have to agree. Firm also have to agree. That means they don't have any power to change the price. Therefore, their demand line is like this. This we call a perfectly elastic demand line. Perfectly elastic demand line. See, they are not changing the price, but the quantity is changing. Right? Because they have a less power. If we consider one firm, they have a very less power, less market power compared to the entire market. Right? Because they cover a smaller proportion from the entire market. For example, if we take vegetable seller, he is a perfect competition market structure. He is coming under perfect competition market structure. How many vegetable sellers are there in this market? In Sri Lanka, let's assume there are millions of vegetable sellers. Can anyone change the price of the vegetables to a high price? They can decide, but no one will buy. Right? Anyway, they have to agree for the price decided by the market. Right? Therefore, their price is not changing. They cannot change the price. It is having a perfectly elastic demand. Right? So this is type of a common nature you can explain about the demand, nature of the demand, nature of the entire demand you can cover. Right? So then I told you two uses of price elasticity of demand. You can use it measuring the responsiveness of one price flow in between two prices. Number one. Then you can comment about the nature of the demand line, whether it is elastic demand line or whether it is inelastic one, perfectly elastic one, likewise. Clear? So that is there. Then, but when it comes to these two elasticities, CP, ED, and M, income elasticity and cost price elasticity, it directly explains the nature of the product. It directly explains the nature of the product. Right now you can see this income elasticity of demand. It is the how can you define the elasticity of income, elasticity of demand? Responsiveness of demand as a result of changes to consumer income measured quantitatively. ලියන්න ලියාගන්න එක එතනින් දාලා income elasticity of demand IE responsiveness of demand responsiveness of demand as a result of changes to the consumer income. Changes to the consumer income measuring quantitatively is known as IED. Based on the IED values, based on the IED values, we can comment about the nature of the product, in following ways. If IED is less than 0, if IED is less than 0, minus value. Product is an inferior product. That is an inferior. If it is a plus value, you have to look at, it is a plus value, you have to look at number one. IED value is higher than 1. IED value is higher than 1. Or IED value is between 0 and 1. IED value between 0 and 1. Whether if it is more than 1, then if it is more than 1, what product? It is a luxury product. If it is less than 1, it's a necessity. Necessity. Good. It's a necessity good. අත්‍යවශ්‍ය බව. කොහොමද හොයන්නේ ඔබ? How to calculate IED? How to calculate IED? There are two methods. One is IED equals delta Q percentage divided by delta M percentage. Or else IED equals delta Q divided by delta M multiplied by M divided by whole Q times right. හරි ඊට පස්සේ යන CPE cross price elasticity of demand. Cross price elasticity of demand. Responsiveness of demand. Responsiveness of demand. As a result, no? Responsiveness of demand as a result of changes to the price of related goods. Changes to the price of related goods. Measuring quantitatively. Measuring quantitatively is known as quantitative is known as CPED. If the CPED value is a plus value, two products are substitute product. substitute pronouns. If it is a negative value, two products are complementary products. I do this question. I have uploaded a past paper to LM, right? Yeah, I will do question. LM से बाहर start करा ले. Okay. Alright, now it is there. 17C we can. Here, the question number 2, this one. It entirely on elasticity and demand. Combined question. 25 marks. Try this out. Okay. CX, which level? Cutting level. Carefully. Equal ones. We can eliminate this. And there is another question. If 1, 2, part 3, another part is there below that. There are four parts in this question. Questions please ask, right? So what type of functions are those? How many types of functions? Demand functions we learn? How many types of functions? Demand functions we learn? How many types? Demand function we can written in three methods. What are the three methods? Are functions. Demand functions. How many functions? General, direct, inverse. So here this is P is written as a function of quantity, not the quantity. And this is inverse demand function. These two are inverse demand functions. Right? Finish. Right. මොකද කියන්නේ ගන්න. Vicky and Mickey produces two different brands of sports shoes, namely Vicks and Mix. Sorry. Two products are there. Vicks and Mix. Following demand curves for Vicks and Mix shoes produced by Vicky and Mickey. Demand lines දීලා තියෙනවා. PV equals 175 minus 1.2 Q. Here it is PM equals 125 minus 0.8 Q. PV is the price, Q is the quantity, A is the dealer. First one asking, what are the current price elasticities for the product sold by Vicky and Mickey? Current price elasticities. How to find the price elasticity of demand? Find the price elasticity of demand, you need what? What is the formula? PED equals delta QD divided by delta P multiplied by P divided by QD. This is the function. So this is what? Delta QD divided by delta P is the slope of the function. Right? Slope of the function. But here it is, if it is a direct demand function, we can easily take the slope. But here it is inverse. Right? Therefore, we have to convert it to a direct function. Right? How to convert it to direct function? Then you have to make this into this side. Okay? Minus plus 7. PV plus 1.2 Q equals 175. Make a method minus PV. Right? Minus P. Then divide by 1.2. Right by 1. Then Q equals 175 divided by 1.2 minus 1 divided by 1.2 EM. Right? So then solve it. Q divided 175 divided by 1.2 PM. What is the 175 divided by 1.2. 145 minus 0.83. It's 140. 5.83. Right, 46 cube 146 minus 1.1 divided by 1.2. 0.83. So this is the demand function. You found the slope now. 0.83. Then apply the slope, PED value. Applying the slope, now you can apply 0.83 here. Multiplied by, now you have to find the price. Then the current price and elasticity information දීලා තියෙනවා. Quantity of shoes sold by Mickey per week. Vicky is currently selling 80 and Mickey is selling 75 pairs of their products per week respectively. And විකුණන ගාණ දීලා තියෙනවා. Q is given. Q is given. What is Q? Vicky is currently selling 80. Vicky is currently selling 80. This is the Vicky. Here the value is 80. Right? Then regarding to the Mickey is selling how much? 75. Then you can apply those values into this function. Then you can take the price. You can take the price. So then applying to the elasticity function, QD, you know, Vicky is 80. So you have to find price. How to find the price? Apply this to this function. Here the අසු වැඩි කිරීම mechanism දෙක වැඩි කිරීම අඩු කිරීම ඒක අඩු කරනවා කතියද? කීයද? 70. Now take the elasticity value. Yes. PED 8. මේක සුදු කරපුවාම මේක ගන්න. 79 වෙනි මාසු වල zero point eight one minus. Ticket action. Elastic thing, elastic thing. Inelastic. ඒක හරියද clear ද? Any clarifications? Now go to this one. You have to do the same thing. Find the direct demand function. -1 you have to bring this way. PM plus 0.8 Q equals 125. You take it other way around. Then divide by 0.8. Q equals 125 minus PM. Divide by 0.8. Q equals 125 divided by 0.8 here. $156.2. 125 divided by 0.8, right? Again, then 1 divided by 0.8. 1.25 T. This is the function for M. Then you have to find the elastic. PED equals, now you got the slope, minus 1.25 multiplied by, you know the quantity now. Quantity is 75. What is the price? 75 and 60. What is the elasticity value? What is the elasticity value?
Minus 0.0.
Minus
0.
elastic or inelastic. Better when it is plastic. Harne?
Good.
Sorry? ඒක පිළිගන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අහනවා assume that wiki reduces its price. Assume that wiki reduces its price and increases its sales 90 to 90 pairs and that this also causes fall in wiki sales 70 pairs per week. What is the cost price elasticity of demand? Under CPED value. How to calculate it? CPED equals calculation. CPED equals delta QD divided by delta P multiplied by P divided by QD. But more importantly, here there is a very important things. Always we are considering what is cost price elasticity of demand. That is the responsiveness of demand as a result of changes to the price of the related product. Always price is the regarding to related product. Price is regarding to related product. I denote it by R. And the quantity is always related to selected product. You have to write like the second function to find CPED is CPED equals delta QD percentage of the selected product divided by delta P percentage of the related product. Better you write down this in the same place you wrote CPED, right? Okay. Harik, now read the question number 2. Assume that Wiki reduce its price. Now Wiki is reducing price. So what will be the, so tell me the related product here, Wiki or Wiki's product? Because Wiki is first change in the price, right? So therefore, first what is changing? Wiki's price of the Wiki's product. So we take Wiki as the related product. අපි Wix කියලා නම තියෙන product එකේ නම related product. Remember that when you finding CPED, first of all, what you have to do is first clarify what is your selected product, what is your related product. That's better to do. Then mix is becoming selected. Right? Okay. Then you decide that. Then apply the values. You are going to find CPED. Then regarding to the here related product is Wix, we need the quantity here. We need the prices of Wix. We need the price change of Wix and the final price of Wix. Then we need the quantities of Wix, the change of the quantity and the new quantity. Right? We will start with Wix. Let's see. Assume that Wiki reduces its price and increase its sales to 90 pairs. And Wiki reduces its price and increase its sales to 90. මේක 80 මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? 90 වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? 80 කීයද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? 90. What is the price? What is the new price? 67. New price is 67. This is related to Wiki. Right, new price is what? අපි මේක ලියනවා අර lazy and delta q divided by delta p multiplied by p divided by q. Our selected product is Wiki. We put MB. Our related product is Wiki. We will put Wiki. That is easy. Right, that is it. Then we got the price, new price. New price of Wiki is how much? 67. What is the change of quantity? We don't need that. We need those figures for Wiki. But the change of price, previously that price was 90. Now it is, sorry, not the price. Previously price was what? Make up 67, මෙතන 80 දාපුවම මම price එක 70. 70. Right? 70. So එතන වෙනස ගන්නවා අපි 67 minus 70. 67 minus 70. කලින් දීපේ 79 දැන් උනා කීයද? 67. වෙනත minus කීයද? නැත්නම් minus 12 නේ. Alright, clear? Now quantity values. This is regarding to Mickey. Mickey මොකද කියලා තියෙන්නේ? This goes fall in Mickey sales to 70 pairs per week. Mickey will sales here 70 pairs. 70 pairs. Method 10 or 70 pairs. Better than you. Kali Mickey get here 75. Then 70. 70 minus 70. 70 minus 75 minus 5. 67 minus 75 minus 12. 75, right? What is the answer? Here. 0.398. Plus or minus? Plus or. That means two products and Mickey and Mickey are M and B are not. Plus. හරිනේ දෙකම ෂූස් කියලා කියලා තියෙනවා එහෙනම් substitutes these are the answer for number 1. This is number 2. Right? Then number 3. Is the above price reduction by Wiki recommended? Wiki la මොකද කරලා තියෙන්නේ price එක? ගන්න Wiki එක. This is third question. අහනවා ඔයාගේ මේ Wiki reduce කරන price එක ඔයා recommend කරනවද නැද්ද? Take Wiki. What is the previous price? Wiki के कलिंग price एक कितने? 70. P1 new price 67. කොහොමද recommend කරන්න බලන්න. You have to think about TR. TR total revenue. Total revenue equals you multiplied by බලමු එයාගේ price එක කීයද? Previously 79 multiplied by what is the quantity? ඇත්තනම් වෙනකොට කීයක් වික්කද? 80 වික්කනේ. 80 වික්ක. Now price එක කීයද? 67. කීයක් විකුණද? 9. කීයද PR? කීයද PR? ඇට. එතන? ඇට? Now see TR. What has happened to TR? TR reduced. Recommend or not? Would you recommend the price change or not? Not recommend. Right? Right, now final question. It is asking what? Identify and explain four factors affecting the price elasticity of demand and Mickey's product. Factors affecting the price elasticity of demand. How many factors? 1, 2, 3. Number one, see, there are 8 marks, right? Other than the calculation, make a availability of substitutes. Then how can you explain? When the availability of substitutes are high, how about the responsiveness? Do you think consumers will easily shift to other products or no? When the availability of substitutes are high, we call this relative substitutability. When there are many substitutes in the market, how about the responsiveness? Consumers will easily shift to other products or will stick into one product? When there are many number of products, substitute products are in the market. Huh? Consumers can easily shift to other products. Right? So then when the price changes, let's say our selected product will increase the price, consumers will easily shift for the other price because those other products, because those are cheaper. So that means when the number of substitutes are high, elasticity is high. Elasticity is high. Elastic. When the number of substitutes are low, it is inelastic. In monopoly, there is only one supplier. Therefore, it is inelastic demand. But here it is very high number of availability of substitutes. If the availability of substitutes are high, elasticity is high. Right, so when the number of substitutes are high, it is elastic. When the number of substitutes are low, it is inelastic. Right? Percentage of consumers budget. Percentage of consumers budget. The amount is spent on purchasing the product. If it is high, it is elastic or inelastic. Let's say a vehicle, price of a vehicle. It is a high percentage of your budget, right? When price changes, would you easily shift to another car or wait? How about the elasticity? When the proportion you spent on purchasing a one particular product, you will not easily shift. You will be with the product most of the times because you have spent a high value on purchasing. You are not going for the other products, right? Higher the percentage you spent on from your budget, වගේ ආදායමෙන් වැය කරන ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි වෙන්න elastic or inelastic? Inelastic. Lesser the value you spent from your budget, it is elastic. Final one, the time period of adjustment. The time taken to adjust. If more time takes to adjust yourself, whether it is elastic or inelastic. If more time takes to adjust, that is elastic or inelastic. More time. You want more time to adjust from one product to another product. Then would you easily shift or no? You will not easily shift. If the time period to adjust yourself is higher, getting higher and higher, it is inelastic. If lesser, it is elastic. An example, assume that you are in your, let's say, at your home, you are like, assume you have a fuel car, right? Fuel car. Now you are planning to buy a BY, maybe electric car. So how about the time period of adjustment? So you may be not having any facilities to charge your vehicle at home maybe. You have to take different accessories, you have to look for charging points, whether during travel from house to workplace, how many distance, how many kilometers you have traveled per day. And there are many concerns you have to think when you are shifting from your usual vehicle to other. So then you are easily shifting or no, not easily shifting, you are thinking, you are taking time. So that reduce shifting to another. So that means the time taken to shift, time taken to adjust yourself, getting higher and higher, your demand is becoming inelastic. The time taken to adjust yourself lesser and lesser, your demand is becoming elastic, right? Yeah, those are the factors impacting to, right? So these are all about the elasticity lesson. This is the quantitative analysis for demand. So we discussed qualitative analysis to the demand and quantitative analysis to demand both. Then we have the final part, government interventions to the market. Thereafter, this lesson is finished. So you have a break and come. We will discuss the other part, final part of it. How many minutes you want? 10 minutes? 10. Kemarin ada di Balang, aku bilang kadang-kadang. Nah, Lanka you.
තුනකින් පස්සේ එතකොට හත වෙන්නේ හත හොලිඩේ.
Atau holiday. Apa nih holiday? Ini dah. Tahu yang tahu 8 satunya minggu satu ini.
ඉතින් කවුරුත් කරා කියලා
Yeah, the government interventions to the market. Government interventions to the market. Normally, yeah, normally, a price of a product will be decided. Normally, the price of a product will be decided as a result of price mechanism. As a result of price mechanism. However, these prices decided by the market however these prices decided by the market may not be fair for the consumers, may not be fair for the consumers, and not sufficient. May not be fair for the consumers. Underline the word fair for the consumer. Not sufficient for the producers. Not sufficient for the producers, not the suppliers. Not sufficient for the producers. In that point, government has a duty. In that point, government has a duty to safeguard consumers and suppliers in need. In need. This ensures fair distribution. This ensures fair distribution of resources. Among people in the economy. Among people in an economy. There are 4 types of government intervention. Number 1, floor price. Floor price. Number 2, ceiling price. Number 3, taxes. Number 4, subsidies. Number 4, subsidies. Right. So by the price mechanism, based on the opposite powers of demand and supply, the price of a product is decided. Price of the product is decided. Sometimes this price may not be fair, may not be sufficient, may not be fair, may not be sufficient. So that point, governments are coming to the market having different interventions. So let's take the first case. if the equilibrium price is not fair for consumers. If the equilibrium price is not fair for consumers, then government comes to the market. Then tell me, as the government, what they should do, deciding a price higher than this price or less than this price is required. If the price is not fair. Huh? If the price is not fair for consumers, now decide price is P. It is not fair. Then as the government, what they have to do? Deciding the price higher than this or less than it. Huh? Yes. Higher than this price or less than this price. Then government comes to safeguard the consumers. Then government should decide less price or high price. Huh? Less price. Than P. Right? This price we call ceiling price. This price we call ceiling price. This is P. Right? So when the equilibrium price is not fair for consumers, government comes and decide the ceiling price, which is less than the equilibrium price. This ceiling price is always less than equilibrium price. Less than equilibrium. What are the economic consequences? Then you can write down what are the consequences. Quantity supply, decrease. Quantity demand, increase. Quantity supply, decrease. Quantity demand, increase. As a result of that, in the market, what will be there? It is excess. What is there? Excess demand or excess supply? There is a excess demand. Excess demand in the market. Then now government can, as a result of government implementing a ceiling price, there is excess demand in the market. What is the next outcome of excess demand? As a result of excess demand in the market, who will be there? Who will be emerging? Huh? Unsatisfied customer. What they will do? What they will do? Huh? They will try to increase the price. Until what price? They can increase the price until this price. That we call they can increase the price this limit until this limit. In this also some people purchase that. Therefore they can increase that one. This price we call P3, that we call maximum black market. Due to this excess demand, people are trying to buy this for black market price. So the prices higher than equilibrium, ceiling price. In this case, any price higher than P1 is a black market. And in this range, all the prices are black market price. Then, as a result of government deciding a ceiling price, there is a black market price. Black market prices are there. Then government should take necessary actions to prevent black market price and black market. So these are the economic consequences right now. This is the heading, right? Equilibrium is not fair for consumers. Right, next topic. Equilibrium price is not sufficient for producer. Producer. Right? අන්තිමට බලන්න ඒකට අදාළ graph එක by your own. Right. What are the economic consequences of that? Right. If the price is not sufficient for producer, government should decide the price higher than that. Ne? Then they decide the price higher than this price. We call floor price. PF. P. Then what are the economic consequences? Then you can see supply demand decrease, quantity supply decrease, increase, quantity supply increase, quantity demand increase. Okay. QD decrease, QS increase. Result in what? Excess supply. Resulting excess supply in the market. Now, in the price mechanism, what has happened? If the price is higher, automatically price will be reduced. Now they cannot reduce the price because it is not sufficient. Then there are two options. Option number one is government can buy the excess supply. Buy excess supply. Right? This amount, this is the excess supply. Right? This will be bought by the government. Right? Government buying the excess supply. That is only one action taken. There is another action that we call loss impairment. Loss impairment. Second, loss impairment. Right? How the loss impairment works? Now you can see for this price, there are some particular consumers, set of consumers are ready to buy for this price as well. When you decide this price, right? It is an idea of write down this one. Government purchasing the excess supply. This is the first one. Then we will go for the other one, loss impairment. And this will be the government expenditure. Done. That is government purchasing the excess supply. The other one, loss impairment. Again, I will show that. Then this equilibrium pricing is not fair. This pricing is decided. This we call price flow. This is price equilibrium. Now, this is supply, this is demand. So at this price, what is the supply of the price? What is the supply? What is the supply at this price? What is the quantity supply at this price? You can see from here. This is the quantity supply at PF. Flow price eකට supply කරනවා. So now you can see there are some consumers. For what price these consumers are ready to purchase this supply? Could you? Now when government decided floor price, right? The supply of the market will be QS, PF. This one. What is the price consumers are ready to pay in purchasing this price? What is the price consumers are ready to pay in purchasing this quantity? You can find it from the demand line here. PC is the price consumers are paying in purchasing this supply. Then floor price is a higher price. Then this difference that will be paid by government to the public. Right? This is the loss. This loss will be impaired for the supply. Hani Purna. Right? Government එක ඇවිල්ලා මේ floor price එක decide කරපු නිසා මොකද උනේ? extra supply එකක් දුන්නා. ඒ supply එක නැත්නම් ඒ quantity සම්පූර්ණ supply එක මිලදී ගන්න කැමති මිල වෙන්නේ PC. ඊට එහා PF දක්වා වෙන ප්‍රමාණය මොකද කරන්නේ? government එක ගෙවනවා supply එක. ඒක government එක expenditure වෙන්නේ. That we call loss impact. Right. There are another two. Yeah, that is clear. Two options are there: loss, buying the excess supply and loss impact. There are another two. There are another two. Government intervention. In the market. There are another two government interventions in the market. One is To promote suppliers. One is to promote suppliers. The other one is discourage consumers. Discourage consumers. Those are taxes and subsidies. Those are taxes and subsidies. Clear? So I will be giving you your individual assignment related to these taxes and subsidies. You have to prepare a reflective note individually and upload it to the LMS, right? On or before September 7th. So that is your individual assignment, right? Write down question. Write a reflective note. Write a reflective note. Under the topic of topic area. Taxes and subsidies. Taxes and subsidies as government interventions. Taxes and subsidies as government interventions. Include following parts. Introduction to consumer and producer surplus. Introduction to consumer and producer surplus. Then taxes and subsidies. Taxes and subsidies. Introduction with real world example. Taxes and subsidies. Introduction with real world example. Next. Taxes and subsidies with real world example. Next. Calculations. Calculate. For both tax and subsidies. Calculations for both taxes and subsidies. Examples, right? Or example. In the conclusion. කලින් එකට දාගන්න with graphical illustrations. Graph with graphical illustrations. Calculations with graphical illustrations. Right. So LMS link is created. You can see everyone you should upload this individual assignment. Here this is tax and subsidies reflective note CA2. This is not a handwritten one. You have to type and develop a report, right? Minimum 10 12 pages report. Right? Minimum 10 to 12 pages report. Submit it to this link before the due date. PDF. PDF form. Right? Tell that people. Right? And also, next week there will be a quiz. Right? Next week there will be a quiz. That is your second assignment. A quiz, this one, I think classroom activity. And the fourth one is the so we'll be there. Then we will wind up for the day. Now, so far we have completed 3 lessons. I combine 2 lessons together since we are having different time. Elastic lesson and the demand and supply lesson. So I absorb that quantitative analysis. Since the elasticity is quantitative analysis, I connected that lesson in the middle of demand and supply lesson, then shifted to the final part, government relationship marketing. With that, we have done 3 lessons. 3 lessons. By next 2 weeks, we will be completing the utility theory, ordinal and cardinal utility. And we can finish the syllabus with other lessons as scheduled. Okay, thank you. Drama करना वीडियो अपलोड कराने तो राहत का नहीं है राहत कितने हैं वीडियो का अपलोड एक बार चलो डाल देना Ya, orang kita tidak sudah meyakinkan kita ingin berapa kan kita. Kita tidak minta kita diskusi ya ini. Ayo kita kita baru kita dalam jadi coba kata dia Pak. Kita di sini kata දැන්
slide එක play වෙන්න මොකක්ද කියන්නේ? ඒක දැන් ගෑල් වෙන තවද වීඩියෝ එක අපි වීඩියෝ කරලා අප්ලෝඩ් කරා. දැන් ඒක කොහොමද තේරුම් ये मार्केटिंग सेशंस प्रेजेंटेशन देगा तीन में देखिए मैं वेरी ग्रुप असाइनमेंट का ये केस स्टडी अपलोड कर दीजिए सर ये केस स्टडी केस स्टडी देनी पर देखिए ऑपरेशन के लिए केस स्टडी दिए लेकिन सॉफ्टवेयर में से करा के और काम पे जाएंगे एक दिया ना अरे ini the post plan ini jadi under lagi kita begini mau like kita ini tapi nunggu nanti berai උනාට පටන් ගන්න. ඒක විතර කෑපක් නයි. මේ ඉසියකට වැඩි වෙනකොට දිනවල මාර්කට් අපිට බලන්න. ටෙක්නස් දාලා check. අපි check කරනවා. හරිද? check. ඇයි අර පැත්තට ගිහින් කවුරු ඉන්නවද? ගහක් කලින් දියාන දැන් දියාන. උන් දෙබන් ආහඬ. මම ජීප් එකක් තිබ්බනම් අරින්න තිබ්බා අර කියලා බඩ යනවා. එතකොට මේ ඊයේ ගමන් කරනවා. දැන් බලන්න කියනවා. එයා ගාව. බලන්න කියන්නේ
ඔයාලට අද දැන් දැන් තියෙන කොම්බේ පස්සනයි නේද? මගේ මේ කිරිනේ මුණ කොහොමද යන්නේ? ඒක සම්පූර්ණ ප්‍රබලව කියන මහත්මිය යෝගනේ ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කොම්බේ කියලා හරි හොඳයි. මේකයි. ඒ කියන්නේ කිරිනේ නේද? කිරි දෙන්න දැන් යන්න. මොකක්ද ඒක කිව්වේ? එතකොට බෑග් පැටවෙ තියෙන්නේ. මම මොනවද නැතිද? Vậy đấy, em nói đó là công việc của mình tiên mình tìm việc làm em thấy là cái đó nó bị dính vào older than, older than.